Welcome! Today I'm going to tell you about the movie, Virgin Mountain. A 43-year-old loser meets a girl who changes his life. The main character's name is Fusi, who works as a driver at the airport hauling carts of suitcases. He eats a breakfast of milk balls while his mom makes him sandwiches for work. The next day brings another monotonous shift of loading-unloading luggage. In his free time, Fusi does his favorite pastime, playing a tabletop wargame, building military vehicles on the battlefield. Another scene finds Hera at a toy store, where he buys a radio-controlled car. Hera carries the toy home. On the way, a neighbor girl wonders who he's carrying the toy for, but the guy doesn't know what to say. Opening the door, he catches his mother in an intimate affair. To avoid further embarrassment, he goes to test the car outside, where the neighborhood girl watches him. After making sure his mother's lover named Rolf is gone, Fusi returns home. In the evening, Fusi goes to visit his friend Mordor, with whom he plays a game of wargame. One of Mordor's sons wants to play with them, but his father forbids it. After the game, they have a smoke while discussing the latest news, specifically the intimacy that Fusi saw. The next morning, while shoveling snow, Fusi notices Rolf wandering around his desk, touching figurines without asking. He goes inside to ask him not to do that, and corrects the battle flanks of the plastic army. The man advises him to focus more on real life rather than games. Rolf recommends finding a girlfriend online. At work, co-workers are discussing Fusi. They take away his headphones to ask him a question about his personal life. He evades the question, then the bullies throw the headphones at his back. Fusi orders at the cafe as usual. The waiter automatically removes the second utensils as unnecessary. After dinner, Fusi sits in his car on the bay, listening to heavy rock on the radio he ordered from the DJ. Fusi's birthday arrives. His stepfather presents him with a cowboy hat and a certificate for dance lessons, where the hero will be able to meet new people. At work, Fusi is called by his boss to discuss a delicate issue, whether his colleagues are bullying him. Despite the frank dislike on their part, the hero does not give anyone away. Returning home, he sees a neighbor girl on the stairs. She lost her keys and cannot get home. The guy invites the girl to his house to feed her. After cake and milk, the girl plays with his collectible figures and wargame models until her father returns. In the evening, her mother gathers Fusi to go to the dance, despite his reluctance to go there. Upon reaching the hall, Fusi goes inside, where the other students have already gathered. After watching them having fun, Fusi turns around and leaves. He sits in his car and stalls, listening to the radio and talking on the phone while a light snow falls outside the window. After waiting for the dance to end, the guy notices a lone girl coming out last. The girl named Sjöfn approaches his car and asks for a ride home. On the way, she tries to talk to him, but Fusi, inexperienced in social interaction, barely responds. He confesses that he was supposed to go to the dance but didn't dare. The girl invites him to the next class, and he agrees. In the afternoon, Fusi discusses model tanks with Mordor. Rolf wonders how the class went. The old man asks to show him what he learned, but by Fusi's strange answers, it becomes clear to the adults that he did not go to the dance. He is once again bullied by his co-workers at work, being dragged off to the shower to wash up. Fusi is coloring figurines and a neighbor girl calls at the door. She invites him to visit because she has no other friends, they have recently moved. He agrees. The girl asks the hero why he doesn't have a wife. She believes that he is just shy, but her dad calls him crazy, although she does not think so. Going to the dance in the evening, the protagonist promises his mother to bring a blowtorch from work. She needs it to cook a French dessert. At his first class, Fusi repeats all the movements as the teacher tells him to, but also observes his new acquaintance. After class, they go for a walk together. The protagonist invites the girl to his favorite diner, where he often has dinner. Then they drive to his favorite spot on the riverbank, where Fusi orders her favorite song on the radio. The song makes a favorable impression on the girl. Lastly, Sjöfn invites him to tea, but he refuses, saying that he does not drink this noble beverage. After dropping off his girlfriend and driving away, he realizes that he dumbed down. He returns and calls at the door to drink milk. During a casual conversation, the girl asks where he works, telling in passing that he adores traveling. The protagonist answers with difficulty, not knowing how to maintain friendly communication, but returns home, smiling happily. After bringing the promised blowtorch from work, Fusi heats up his mom's friend's French dessert. The women discuss his recent late returns, implying that he had a date at work. One of his coworkers asks him to see what's wrong with the car while Fusi fixes the car. The coworker apologizes for his antics in the shower and invites the hero to a party on Saturday. Fusi discusses a recent date with his friend. However, Mordor scares him by saying that the dating period is the scariest for a man, because you have to constantly think of something to surprise the girl with. Fusi, knowing about her passion for traveling, goes to a travel agency to fly abroad, to a place where it is warm and sunny. Then he goes to the flower store where Sjöfn works, but she quit there long ago. Fusi waits for the girl outside her house. When she comes back from work on a garbage truck, he rings the doorbell to talk, but the girl angrily slams the door in his face. The guy presses the call button again to tell her that he doesn't care where she works. This causes the girl to change her attitude towards him. Fusi invites her on a trip to Egypt. The girl wonders if he booked one room or two different ones, clarifying that there can be nothing in between. On Saturday, he goes with his colleagues to a party, which begins with a paintball match. Then they have a cultural booze-off at the apartment. Soon a guest stripper appears, putting on a professional show. After the obligatory program, the guys pay the girl to sleep with Fusi, but the protagonist refuses and wants to leave. Then the others push him into the bedroom to undress him, but he resists. Using his mass advantage, the hero easily scatters the bullies and punches one last one in the face. In the morning with a hangover, he asks his mother to call work and take a sick day. Stepping out into the fresh air, Fusi meets a girl who offers to play. He declines, planning to take a car ride to the bay shore. She asks to go for a ride with him, but admiring the Scandinavian beauty does not arouse the girl's interest and she asks to go home. The police are waiting there, summoned by the girl's worried father. He calls Fusi a pervert and forbids him to get close to his daughter. The guards invite the hero to the police station to explain the situation. An experienced officer asks the guy what exactly he and the girl are playing. Finding no signs of crime or malice, he lets the good-natured fat man go. In the evening, Fusi puts on his costume and goes to the dance. He looks around for Sjöfn, but she doesn't show up. After class, he drives to her house, where he watches from the car without deciding to go in. The next day, Fusi races a radio-controlled car around the yard. Local kids run up to him, and he lets the boy drive it himself. But when the kid's mom notices him hanging around a fat man accused of pedophilia, she calls him home. Worried about the girl, he drives to her house and breaks the glass to get inside. The apartment is a mess and chaos, and the girl herself is sitting locked in a closet. She asks him to leave. He almost leaves, but the pitiful meowing of the cat forces him to stay. Having fed the animal, Fusi remains in the chair in front of the TV with the pet on his stomach. In the morning, he wakes up on the couch in Sjöfn's apartment and prepares breakfast, which he leaves in front of the door in the closet. After cleaning up the apartment, Fusi is about to leave, breakfast still standing untouched. He shows up at work to take a few days off. After getting approval, the guy goes back to Sjöfn to change the broken glass. Fusi stays at the girl's house, cooking a meal, in the process trying to get the girl to talk. She confesses that she skipped work and is afraid of being fired. Fusi then goes to the junkyard to talk to her boss. He offers to work shifts for her. The protagonist returns to his friend, having grabbed a huge bouquet on the way. He carefully opens the door, after which he picks up the girl sobbing with pity, comforting her. He carefully washes her in the bathtub, makes sure she eats something, and puts her to bed. Fusi sorts garbage at the dump instead of the girl. The other workers look at him askance. However, instead of bullying him, they invite him to the pub after work to watch soccer. When Fusi returns home, he finds his mother upset. She has been dumped by her lover, hinting that her son deserves better than a depressed garbage collector who wants him to leave her. During another visit to Sjöfn, the protagonist catches her making repairs. Fusi takes the comely friend out to a cafe. Driving around the city, they come to a former pastry store, which Sjöfn has seen for her own flower store. Finishing his last shift, Fusi has a drink with his new coworkers, who banter with him, but in a harmless way. When he returns to Sjöfn, she jumps on top of him and drags him to bed. In the morning, Fusi wakes up in bed with a girl. They go back to the dance class, and for the first time Fusi is wearing a more appropriate outfit instead of a strict suit. Sjöfn suggests going on a previously planned tourist trip together, and they take it to the next level and move in together. But Fusi can't leave her mother alone. The girl is upset by his unwillingness to get out from under his mother's care, and she leaves. He runs after her and says he's ready to change his life for her. He saws up the wargame table, collects the figures and toys into a box, which he takes to the girl's neighbor. She isn't home. Her father, after accepting the gifts, apologizes to him for his suspicions. Fusi, along with Mordor, carries a pile of boxes of stuff to the apartment of Sjöfn, who walks nervously back and forth. She has another nervous breakdown and thinks she's making a mistake moving in with him. The guy has no choice but to move things back home. Upset, in the best feelings, he sits in the room among the boxes. As his resentment festers, Fusi stares out the window at the blizzard. At the airport, the guy looks at the happy travelers flying to other countries or returning home. He returns to the premises of an old candy store where he and a friend are renovating. Having finished putting the store in order, the protagonist leaves the key to it along with a note in the mailbox. In the next scene, a truck with a trailer of luggage carts drives along the concrete field of the airfield, but Fusi watches it from above from the boarding corridor. He and the rest of the passengers prepare to embark on their journey. In the porthole, the runway flashes by as Fusi steps out of his comfort zone, breaks ties with the past, and sets out for a new life.